Why don't you calculate actually? 2 by 41. Everybody agrees? Yes, that's correct. Total person year is 2 by 41. Total number of persons developing disease is 2. So incidence rate is 4.9 per 100 person year. So if you follow 100 persons, what does this 4.9 per 100 person year mean? If you follow 100 persons for 1 year, there will be 4.9 cases. See, this person contributed 1 year. This person can contributed 7 years. 7 plus 1, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 plus 7, 19. 21. 28. 35. 41. So this is person year, that is 41 divided by 2. So what are the properties of incidence rate? It describes how quickly the disease is occurring in the population. So here it is, the rate is 4.9 per 1000 per 100 person years. If the rate is 10 per year, it is more. So in a year, out of 100 individuals, 10% will develop the disease. So it describes how quickly the disease occurs in a population. Because it includes person time follow-up for each individual, it can accommodate persons coming in or going out of study. So it accounts for subjects who are lost to follow-up and allows subjects to enter at different time. But there is one problem with this. See, the drawback is it assumes that the disease occurs at the same rate, same probability over time. On the other hand, we know that as a person, say for example age, we know that as a person gets older, he is more likely to develop chronic diseases. But here we consider that for each year followed up, he contributes same, he has the same risk. That is the problem. So now we will see the measure of association in a cohort study, that is risk ratio. So risk ratio is nothing but risk of disease. We have seen what is risk. The first thing what we saw was risk. Two kind of incidents we saw. One was risk, the number of new cases over total individuals at the beginning of follow-up, that is risk. So the risk ratio is risk of disease in a group of primary interest, that is among exposed, divided by risk of disease among unexposed. So if your risk, relative risk is 1, it means risk is same in both the groups. So there is no extra risk because of the exposure. If RR is 1, it means that there is increased risk for those who are exposed. So if relative risk is less than 1, it means that there is a decreased risk for those who are exposed. That is how it is calculated. This is 2 by 2 table, and relative risk is very simple actually. This is example again is given in this sheet. This the example is about transmission of MTB among congregated HIV infected persons, prison inmates in USA. The study was done in one of the prisons where HIV positive individuals were kept. A total 294 individuals were there, and they were staying in 2 wings, east wing and west wing. 157 individuals were staying in east wing, 137 were staying in west wing. 28 individuals developed the disease here, and 28 individuals in east wing developed the disease compared to 4 individuals in west wing. So what is the risk ratio? How will you calculate it? How will you calculate risk ratio? Risk of TB among east wing inmates. How much is that? 28 by 157. Yeah, 157, not 129. Risk of TB among West Wing inmates? Very good. And what is the relative risk? Ratio of that, which is 6 times. So they found out that those inmates who were staying in East Wing, they were at 6 times higher risk of getting TB. For we found out the other kind of the other type of incidence, that is incidence rate, which takes this person time into follow. If that is the case, we calculate a rate ratio. A rate ratio is nothing but it compares the incidence rates in 2 groups, rate for primary interest, that is exposed, and rate for unexposed. Another example for that. See, public health officials were called to investigate a pursued increase in visits of ships' infirmaries for ARI by passengers of cruise ship in Alaska in 1998. Okay. The officials compared passenger visit to ship hospital for ARI during May and August 1998 with those of ARI figures in 1997. And the incidence rate in 1998 was 11.6 per 1000 tourists per week, whereas incidence in last year, the earlier year, was 5.3. It means it was the rate ratio was 2.2. So the risk of the rate ratio or for the disease for ARI was 2 times this year, and then finally they found out that there was a case of influenza, and that's how the spread was there. What happened in Framingham study? This is last slide. See, they divided the cohort into as per serum cholesterol less than 210 and more than 210. And these are the second column says the number of individuals at the start of the cohort, number of cases of cardiovascular disease in each of the group, and the relative risk. How do you interpret the relative risk of 1.81 in individuals having serum cholesterol of 210? They are at 1.8 times higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease compared to those who are having less than 210.